You might have been wondering where I've been. I haven't gone anywhere. I've just been way too busy to film the update video that I've been promising for months now. Whether it is too cold outside, too windy, I'm busy with school, busy with work, all of those things just happen to have horrible timing. Especially any day that I would actually have free, but for the first time, it is warm out, it's not too windy, and I don't have work or school right now. So, let's start with a recap. I was driving to work on July 21st, 2025, going about 50 miles an hour on Randall Road. And if any of you know Randall Road, you know that that road is awful. No one on it knows how to drive. So as I was going through a green light, a Mercedes turned left in front of me and destroyed my RX-7. Now, of course, I was not found at fault, despite the fact that he thought he knew better than a traffic light and was arguing with the officer that he had the right-of-way. I've been responding to comments saying that I would be trying to see what I can do to fix the car, and I'm not going to leave it at the end. I'm not going to leave it as some announcement or anything for audience retention. This car will never drive again. No matter what we do, we cannot get this car back on the road. We had it up on the lift. I'll see if I have any footage to overlay. And the frame rail is bent at almost 90 degrees, the transmission tunnel is torn, and the floor under the driver's seat is also torn. No matter what, no matter how much we straighten it out, this car cannot be fixed. The original plan was that we were going to pull it as straight as we could, and then we were going to cut off everything from the shock towers forward and build a tube front end, because turns out doing that wouldn't cost nearly as much as you would expect. There's a kit that is made by Cage Kits that is specifically to do that to an FC RX-7. But doing the front end doesn't matter when the floor is torn under the driver's seat. Can't really fix that easily. And as much as I think this car is worth it, I have to look past sentimental value and see that, yes, while this is my first project car, I spent a year restoring it and it is incredibly special to me, it's still a naturally aspirated Series 4 RX-7. It's just not worth that amount of money. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to be getting rid of it. I mean, as you can see, it's been, I'd say, almost a year now, and the car is still here. It's not sitting in some junkyard. It's not taken apart and used as scrap metal. I own it. I still own it, and as long as I am able to, I will continue to own this car. Now, I'll get later into the details of what I plan on it, but first I want to talk about what makes this car so special. As you've seen on my YouTube channel, I restored it. I went down to South Carolina with my mom, in the Prius right there, the GR Prius that really started the automotive content on this YouTube channel. In fact, started this channel in general. You can see it's no longer GR, it's been reverted to stock, which I had a video I was working on about reverting it to stock, putting stock exhaust and everything back on it, but then this happened. 2 days after I started working on that video, and I just decided I did not have the energy or mental capacity to finish it. So, drove down to South Carolina with my mom to buy this car. And I didn't know nearly as much about rotaries as I should have. If you want to buy a car like this, please do more research than I did. I had a video I was working on before the crash that was basically a crash course in everything you need before you buy one of these cars, and I still want to get it out. It just won't be with this one. So when we got down there, the car seemed really good. We drove it around a little, and then we found out, as I explained in the previous video, it had no brakes, it was overheating, and it absolutely would not have made it back, despite the seller telling me that it would have made it back and then ghosting me. That's on me. I should have been more careful, especially knowing Facebook Marketplace, but you know, I was 19, this was my first actual project car, and I didn't know what I was doing. If a deal seems really good, and anything about one of these cars, anything at all while you're buying it seems suspicious, walk away. There will be another one. But I didn't do that. Instead, I bought it. I bought it, I tore apart about half of it and ended up fixing it. I replaced the ECU, I replaced the radiator, I replaced the entirety of the suspension. Some of it's on video, some of it's not. And I was really proud of it. I spent a year restoring this thing, and honestly, it was damn reliable. I would have driven this thing down to Florida and back, and I would not have worried for a second that this wouldn't have been able to make it. But after the crash, I was really reluctant to get rid of it. And that's because of probably the main thing that makes this car as important to me as it was. The main reason I was so reluctant to give up on this car, and why I, one, still own it, and two, wanted so badly to fix it despite the fact that it's really not worth a whole ton, is because of a promise that I made. Now, those of you who are in the Illinois car scene will probably recognize the name Joe Piazza. Now, for those of you who don't know or aren't from around here, Joe Piazza, he ran the largest weekly car meets in Illinois. I believe in the Midwest in general, or at least that's what he claimed, and I am not going to question him on that. I'd say he was a pretty close friend of mine, though in high school we actually hated each other, which I think is really funny, but afterwards, my very first car meet that I ever went to, he hosted. And if he wouldn't have been so kind to me, showing up to my first ever car meet in a Prius that had a wing that I had just installed 30 minutes earlier, I don't think that I would have been as big into the car scene as I was. And there's a chance this might not have happened. And so, I want to say it was December of 2023 or 4. In either December 2023 or 2024, it's hard to remember, I was at a car meet that he was hosting, and I told him about this RX-7 that I wanted. I told Joe that I would show up to one of his meets in a white FC RX-7, and he told me that he couldn't wait for that. He was looking forward to it, and that ended up being the final time that I ever spoke to him. Less than 2 months later, Joe was killed in a car accident. And this car was the final promise that I had made to him. I told him I would get it running, I would show up to one of his Spade Society car meets. I got one of those done. So when the car was totaled, I really didn't want to get rid of it. I felt like giving up on this car would be giving up on that promise that I made to him. But I didn't really have much of a choice. And as much as I would love to take this car in its current state, pull the frame straight, somehow fix the holes that are in it, fix the frame rails, it's just not possible. So this car, this chassis, will never see the road again. But that doesn't mean that I'm done with it. I don't know when it'll be. It could be months from now, and it could be years from now, but eventually I will save part of this car. Now, I'm sure many of you have heard of the Ship of Theseus, which is an idea that if you replace every single piece of a ship, piece by piece, is it still the same ship? I say that it is. I'm going to, at some point, buy a roller chassis that has no engine, no transmission, maybe even no interior. I'm going to take every good part that I can from this car and swap it over. It won't be the same chassis, won't be the same VIN number, but it will be the same car. Believe it or not, that might be easier than you would expect, because during the crash, after I was sitting at that stoplight processing what had happened, the engine was still running. Now, there is a reason that that's very surprising. Right down here. This was way cleaner before the crash, but this is the distributor. And as you can see, it's completely disconnected. The car should not run. Yet after the crash, while I was sitting in that intersection, it was idling fine. It sounded just like it always did. Then, of course, after that, I was not able to get it started again, as you saw in a previous video. This car is savable. Though, while I'm here, I do need a couple of the parts off of it. This being one of them. I could probably take this, clean it off. Maybe this one. You know, I think I would actually, as cool as this one is, I think I would prefer to take this one, because Yeah, it's a little cleaner. And as you can see, the mirrors are gone. I've taken those off. I'm gonna take the door handles, ignition, the trunk latch. I'm gonna take those off of it. So yes, this car will kind of be used for parts, but it is not a parts car by any means. It is a car waiting to be revived. And I don't know how long it'll take, but I will do it. I think that pretty much summarizes it. That's where I've been. That is what I will do. And I think we're pretty much done. All right, let's go.